New data shows a big improvement for Americans. A key gauge of inflation softened, and the president touting that, calling it progress. Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
Temperatures may be rising, but when it comes to high prices, economists say a much-needed cool-down is coming. New inflation data out Wednesday shows consumer prices eased in March for the 9th straight month. Inflation is at 5% year over year, slightly down from a month prior. Higher rent is the biggest driver.
It's only in this weird environment where 5% is good news. That's obviously terrible for the consumer.
But it is the lowest reading in nearly 2 years, after peaking last June. And yet it's still more than double the 2% target the Federal Reserve wants. And core inflation, stripping out food and energy, ticked up higher.
That is concerning.
The government jobs report last week showed hiring remains strong but starting to slow. U.S. stocks edged up on the better-than-expected inflation data.
I'm not surprised the market's liking it.
It's the last report before the Fed makes another decision on interest rates.
Unless there's a big narrative change, it's going to be hard for the Federal Reserve not to forge ahead with an additional rate hike.
It's a balancing act for the Fed, raising rates to slow the economy without tipping it into recession.
The United States is doing extremely well economically, with inflation coming down and a strong labor market.
Investors are betting on another quarter-point hike from the Fed in May. And on Friday, we'll see how the banking sector is weathering its storm when 3 big banks report their earnings. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.